Welcome to Charts Today. My name is David Linton, and today's edition for Thursday, the 2nd of February, comes to you from London. And we started, as always, by looking at currencies, then stock markets, commodities, and last of all, some tech, some quite big moves in tech overnight. So we start with the dollar index. Dollar weakness is still the feature. We're seeing that just making new lower lows. Just activated this downside target here on the 60-minute chart, so we've now got downside potential of 2%, 2.6%. So we really are seeing the dollar falling away here. Of course, the medium and long-term picture is still holding bullish. It'll be very interesting to see whether we break through this cloud. The key thing is the long-term chart is now just coming back to test. So short-term weakness continues, and then that filters through into euro strength, and we're just seeing the euro making new highs here. But again, got to get through the cloud here, and a lot of downside targets to fight. So still very early to say that the euro is recovering. So we are just seeing at the moment the short-term theme is dollar weakness, and that's really filtering through to everything. We see here against the yen. Again, the dollar weakness just showing through. So very much the theme, and even sterling is making somewhat of a recovery. Very much rising here on the short-term chart. We don't have any real clear upside targets. We still do, like the euro, have quite a lot of downside targets. The move through the cloud on the medium term is encouraging, but when you look at the long-term picture, it's still pretty bearish. If we take a look at euro sterling, we see here that the euro worth 85p just falling away a little bit, so euro strength is dominating there, and Swiss franc, sterling just holding this sort of 125, 126 area, not much change there. Australian dollar, strangely, we are seeing the strength here, so it quite often follows the US dollar, but we are just seeing here Australian dollar is strengthening against sterling 165, just a 2 cent change there. Take a look at stock markets. The S&P 500 index overnight didn't actually change that much. It was just up slightly, holding the bullish position. The really big moves were in Nasdaq. Nasdaq up 0.7%, driven by some big moves by Apple, and we'll take a look at that and other stocks rising quite strongly. The Dow Jones Industrial Average just now still below this 20,000 level, having broken it. It's just struggling to hold that, but very much the sort of move, the sideways, we just haven't properly broken out yet, so just need to keep an eye on that. The FTSE 100 up 10 points this morning, still just struggling to get through the short-term cloud here. We've got a little bit of downside pressure, not looking as bullish as US markets still, but you have to believe that as the US markets increase, that will affect the FTSE, and the 250 is actually through, so we are seeing the mid caps actually showing some strength. And taking a look at the German DAX, just really dancing around with this cloud at the moment, but bullish again on all time frames. Hang Seng Index is down 0.5%, just struggling here on this weekly cloud, and we've always said that China is a little bit of a worry for us. Next week, once we're through Chinese New Year, we'll start to get a bit more visibility on trading in that market. Sensex is still going up. Indian market, one of the best looking markets, bullish on all three time frames, and some very big upside targets in the long term. Australian market, stronger dollar in Australia has probably just had a little bit of an effect on the Aussie index, and we are just still below the cloud, even though we've got quite a lot of upside targets in the short term. So for the moment, we're just pausing, holding breath. Brent crude had a good day yesterday, and we are just seeing us back into these high 50s area. That's the target area that we've talked about for quite some time. We're seeing targets into the high 50s, 59, 60 even. Be very key to break through that psychologically important $60 level, and then even into the 70s. So still looking pretty bullish. Just not much change this morning. We talked a lot about gold recently. Had a strong day again. Yesterday it was flat, but today it's up, and we are in this bullish territory with this upside target of 12.17. And notice how we're just starting to activate this upside target on the medium-term chart. That's 14, 15% upside from here. So gold starting to look pretty good, even though we're not quite through on the medium term. And if we look at silver actually leads gold a little bit, and we see here on the silver chart, we're just wandering through on the cloud, upside potential of 2%, 4% in the short term, and this 20% 15% upside target, very similar to gold, has been activated. So precious metals starting to look pretty good. The Fed's comments were fairly benign yesterday, didn't have much impact on 10-year Treasury yields, just sitting at about 2.5%, just under 2.46%. So not much action there at the moment. The big moves were in tech. Apple up a massive 6% after their results the night before. So we really just see that jump. Good news happens in uptrends, remember. So we're bullish on all three time frames, really going to the moon. Be very interesting to see that move. Gives us a new upside target of 16%. Looks like Apple has turned the corner very much, and the chart's showing that. Google, Alphabet stock was just off slightly, and we're just a little bit subdued below the cloud. Their results not so well received the week before. And Amazon is also just showing some improvement here, so we see that as well, that we are above the cloud with good upside targets. Microsoft was off 1.6%, so bucked the trend a little bit for most tech stocks. They had their results last week, so probably just seeing a little bit of a pullback as a result of that. And Facebook reported overnight strong results from Facebook, and a legal case against them on the virtual reality. So it'd be quite interesting to see where they open up today in the pre-market. Hopefully they'll do something similar to Apple, but the upside targets are still there, and Facebook did start to make new highs yesterday. So still looks pretty good with a lot of long-term upside targets, lots of thrust potential here. If we open up and break this level and hold it for the week, then that's pretty bullish for Facebook. That's it for today. Until tomorrow, happy charting. See you then.